I'm doing good. I'm trying to change everything. How's everything? Everything's good on your end?
Good, great. Thank you. I'm
Good,
sorry,
great.
by the way. Again, I'm sorry for your
Oh, don't worry about
loss.
it. It happens. Yeah.
Again, but there's nothing to say.
Yeah, yeah.
I usually, the only thing I can say is to look where things are,
Yeah,
because
that's part of life. Yeah, yeah,
that's part of life. And I think that's the
yeah,
only truth to this life. The only thing that we all know,
yeah.
that we're going to die one day, and we forget. So no, most of us forget. So
That's right.
that's the truth to life. So
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, my heart goes with you. And yeah, let's start. Let's have a decision making session.
Yeah, it's a great topic, man. I don't know if you want to start or if you want me to start,
No,
but
I want you to start, because you
yeah.
picked it, and I want you to start. I always want you to start. So
Okay. Well, I think decisions making is very powerful. It's a powerful. It's one of the very powerful tools that we have that defines your life. So I call that the decision equals destiny. So there are certain decisions. Like for example, how would your life be better today because of the decision that you make or you made? You know, at some point of your life. So there are two ways I look at decisions. For instance, decision that you sometimes a small problem, small decision, right, becomes a huge problem, right? It
sure.
was a tiny decision you had to make, but it becomes a big, big, big problem. And then the second one is a big decision becomes a small problem. So when it comes to decisions, how do you cope with that? And for me, one of the advice I always give clients and myself, I practice that a lot. So when it comes to decisions, you have to have passionate and momentum. Okay, so for example, when we decided to do this, right? You know how passionate I am with coaching. So right then and there, you didn't have to convince me. There was a decision that's because I was passionate about it, right? For example, competing. I don't
Because you
know.
knew what you want, because I think
Yeah,
first of all, again, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to add this.
right,
In my opinion, from the moment that you open your eyes to the moment that you close them every day, you make decisions. So decision making is
absolutely.
not exactly, it's not a big thing. Like from
Yeah,
what to wear, what to drink, where to go, they're all
right,
decisions that usually 90% of us are on autopilot without even thinking about it. Some of us,
absolutely.
yes. And yeah, we are, as coaches, I am my first like original client, and I know you are too. So whatever you preach, we teach, you
Right,
live by it, right? So I totally get it. And it's again your passion, the one that, because we identify our goals. I
right,
knew when we met way before, like you tell me about it, I knew that I wanted to do this, right? And then
right,
just universe just brought us together, and you just said it, and I took it because both of us knew we already made that decision. And I
right,
think this is one thing that I believe the most successful people, they make decision really fast, and they
right,
change their mind very slow. And the
right.
reason that they make decisions so fast is because they know what they want. They identify the goal. So
Right, right. No, I completely agree. Decision, but you don't forget. I tell people a decision equals destiny.
yes,
Because decision you
exactly.
make today can change your life completely 5, 10 years down the road. So whether it's a small decision or a tiny decision or any type of decision, I do think that when it comes to make decisions, you gotta have momentums as well. Not only passionate. Like for example, if you say, "Well, I'm going to compete," right? I say, "I want to compete this year," and I'm not sure. There's no momentum in there. But if you say, "You know what? I'm going to compete. I'm going to do this," the momentum a lot requires you to keep the action going, to take action, so to keep going. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Versus if you
exactly.
just say, "Well, I want to do this," I'm not sure. You have doubt. Right now, you in the doubt state. You know,
Exactly.
versus if you add momentum to it. So that's why I think when it comes to decision making, it's important. For example, we face a lot of problems, right? So there's a few decisions that you got to make. So when you face stress, for instance, something happened in your life and your family, there are two things you could do, right? You can either choose to say, okay, you know what, not gonna do anything about it. It's stress, and then that stress becomes something big.
Consider the consequences. That's what, like,
Yeah,
that's what we all face each decision that
yeah,
we're gonna make. We have to consider the consequences.
yeah, yeah. The stress could become a monster because when it happened, you didn't choose to handle. You didn't decide to handle it right then and there. So that problem becomes a big problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that stress could become a monster and kill you.
Sorry to stop you guys. This is Coach Dickens. He's an NLP expert. And if you have any question, just type it in. I will ask him. And we're talking about decision making and the process of decision making. So I just, sorry to interrupt you. I had you because people are watching.
Hey guys.
He doesn't see you, but I see you. So if you have it, like, he doesn't see your comments. But if you have any comments, any question about decision making, ask, like, type it there and I will ask him. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, Monica.
Yeah. No, that's okay. That's okay. It's good to do sometime. We forgot to do that to introduce ourselves. So yes, so as I was saying, the decision is equals destiny. You know how, whether it's a small problem, it could be a small little tiny problem you face, something that happens that didn't go your way, and but it creates a negative emotions, and by holding on to it, you don't face it right then and there and handle that, then it becomes a big problem. Because stress doesn't become a big stress. It starts very small. So you got to deal with that monster right then and there and kill it before it becomes a big guy.
Exactly.
So, that's what I'm saying. So those are decisions, that's why I said decision is part of our entire life. Like you said, decision to make, to put what clothes to wear, what to do, and all that stuff. For me, my main focus on is decisions of what happens throughout my life and decision of what I do. It's very important. How I handle certain things. That happens. In our lives. That's important. Very important.
Exactly.
What's your take on that?
Well, again, as you said, I think I believe we all know all the answer to all of our question, but when it comes to decision making, there are like steps that we can take. Again, know where we're going, know where we are, and know where we're going. Either if it's I am a dream builder, so I always say know your dream. Visualize where you're going. But a lot of people have goals, and to get to their dream, they make goals. So you know your goals. And then there's one other thing that I've been doing. It was always question for me for years and years. I would follow these very successful guys, and I would see they are so simple. Like their clothing is really simple. And then again, I made transformation my business. I always say I made it my business because I'm my original client, and it's all about me. I want to know why I do specific thing. So one of the things that I started doing was I made a list of all the decisions that I make during the day, everything. And then I noticed that I can eliminate a lot of them because, again, someone like me, I notice what I'm noticing every single moment. That's my job. That's my life. This is who I am. This is who I've become, right? Hi, guys. So I've eliminated a lot of, that's why I have a morning routine because, a lot of the decision that I make has been eliminated without even me going into autopilot. So I know my routine. I do that. And then I eliminated what to wear. I've been for the last year, I have 4 t-shirts, 2 shorts, and my shoes. So, and I know how simple it is, it's really simple. I don't need to think. Before I used to, and again, it was I think one of the things that we should put aside is to relax, because when we stress, I know it doesn't matter. I want you to know from what you wear to what to drink, to where to go, to what to buy, small decision, big decision. First of all, they're all equals in my eyes because they're all trying to teach us something. So they're there to teach us something. And one thing that you said that I really believe in now, again, for years, I wouldn't make any decision because I wouldn't care. And I was like blaming someone else, and I was in my own victimhood, and I wouldn't take responsibility for my actions and for my life. But one thing that is really, really important to know is to, first of all, relax and don't stress, because when you're stressed, you cannot see clear. So always, always, before you make any decision, like for example, again, let's see, I'm out and someone does something and I get angry. Instead of doing a knee-jerk reaction, I will stop and I will take a deep breath. And at that moment, my decision is, should I yell or should I smile? Right. And then I smile, you know, that's every single, but if I don't do that, I might just yell, you know, that's what we do. That's why we go to autopilot. And I believe, if we notice on everything, again, from what we drink to what we wear, we will come to this routine and to this process of decision making for everything. For everything. Right. For example, you want to buy a house, you have to find your house, the house you want to buy, right? I think my friend is here. She's a realtor. That's why I'm giving this like house. Yeah, right? You want to buy a house. So first of all, you have to know that which house you want to buy. Then you cannot buy a house, right? But the moment you decide you want to buy a house, the moment you go outside, you see these posters or these billboards of a lot of realtors, right? Then you have to choose which one of these people, because they come, you know, since the moment you put your attention, where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? So the moment you say house, you go out. Till yesterday, you wouldn't even notice realtors, right? But now you're noticing realtors. So you're gathering information. And then you look at your options, and then you consider your consequences, what you said. Should I go with this one? Should I go with this one? You don't need to know everything about how to buy a house. The how is never it should never be our concern. The what should. So again, knowing that we make decision 24/7 from the moment I decide I'm going to smile or I'm going to yell, you know, I'm going to drink or I'm not. We all do the same, right? And the most important part is that whatever we do, don't regret. Make sure of this, because this is the most important thing, in my opinion. What decision you make today, think about that. Add this, even if you haven't done it, add this to your decision-making process. Ask yourself, 10 years from now, would I regret it or would I thank myself?
Right.
And then...
Well, I agree. That's why I said making decision, the best way to make decision has to come with momentum, because buying a home is a big project. If I'm going to buy a home, and I said I just want to buy a home with my voice calm and collected like this, am I really going to make the right decision? Or if I say, you know what, I'm excited, I'm ready to buy a home, I'm passionate, I add momentum to it. Chances are you more, because you could buy a home and then 5 years down later, that was the worst decision you ever made. It come and bite you. You get what I'm saying? So I do think momentum and passionate plays a role in this, in making decision. You know what I mean? Or if you're gonna buy whatever decision, like for example, if I'm gonna making decisions on buying whatever it is, that momentum has to be there. I have to feel it. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, you know what?
You're talking
about I gotta be passionate about it.
How passionate you are about
because those two kind of links together somehow. Because when you not motivated, not driven, and you just doing something, you might just do it by luck. Sometimes that happens. You know what I mean? So, but for me, my main concern is when, because things happen to us every day. So, bad things, negative stuff comes to us. So, and I think people need to understand how to master that stuff, because when something happens, your focus goes somewhere else rather than goes towards your goal. If you make a decision, this decision to focus your attention towards what's not working, then you lose.
Exactly.
So you have to you have to make a decision. Say, you know what, I gotta I know this is what happened. I gotta handle it now, because if I turn my focus towards that, this is the result I'm gonna be getting. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to the state of mind, for me, it's important, how, it's got to be calculated. You know what I mean? So if a problem faced me, and I'm, or like I just told you this week, something happened, I can make a decision to focus on the stress. Oh my God, this happened, whatever, and stay in it. Or I can deal with it. I say, okay, it happens. I do what I have to do. Where do I go from that? Do I stick to that, or do I move forward? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So because if you don't deal with it right then and there, then that small problem becomes a monster.
Evaluating your decision again. You always have to.
It can become a monster. Yeah.
The thing is, again, most of us, we make decision like on autopilot without even knowing, and because we're just not into the habit of asking ourselves, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? We always question others. At least I was the kind of person that would always question others. I never questioned myself. But now I changed. I changed the focus from everything outside and put the focus on myself. And I ask myself, why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I doing this? Why am I wanting this? And I ask this why question till I get to the bottom of each thing. And it happens, again, for some people, it might be constant work. I do this with my client in the beginning. Most of them hate this process, but now, after a while, I get this feedback. We love it. We do it over everything, over everything we want to do. And after a while, you notice that you're doing it without. It's like, again, it's like driving when we wanted to drive, when you want to learn to drive, right? There was so many things, but now sometimes you sit in the car and you open the door and you're there and you don't know what you've done, right? Because that's how autopilot we are. And I want our listeners, or anyone that listens, to know, pay attention, notice what you're noticing, and get to the habit to focus on yourself. And whenever something is a question about someone else in your mind, is a reflection of you. So if you look at me and you question my choices, is actually something in you. So, or if I do it with you, I know that. I know if I ever question anyone doing anything, it's something in me. Right. And I use the same process in decision making. And again, the best thing I suggest that I do is that eliminate all the autopilot decisions in your life, but be aware that you're doing it. Be aware of the choices that you make. That's why I love routine. Again, I think bodybuilding was the best thing that ever happened to me, because the discipline, the routine, it eliminates a lot of the mind that gets, busy with that on the side. And then they're more like, our brain is like a computer. It's exactly like a computer. Our body is a machine. And then it's our heart, you always, that's why if someone asks me, what do you think I should do? When I'm coaching someone, when they ask me, what do you think I should do? I should never answer what I think, because as a person, you're the highest power in your life. You always know what to do. You're just not used to listen to yourself, right? For example, again, when you talk about passion, sometimes I will give the example of house, because my friend is here, and I personally had different, experience with buying a house, right? So it's a big thing. It's, for most of us, it's a big thing. But now looking back, buying a house and deciding to yell at someone, they're both the same. In my opinion, a decision is a decision, and the process is exactly the same. That's my opinion, And
so I have a question for you. What is the most? I'll tell you my answer after that. What is, or anybody else that's willing to answer that question that would help? What is the most important decision making for you in your life?
To me, at this point, is the most important decision is to be who I want to be. Most people wake up in the morning and they make a list of the things that they want. I've changed, and since I've changed that, I made the decision that I don't want to make lists of the stuff that I want. I want to be. So I always make a choice of being, not having, not doing. I'm not saying I love money, I love luxury, I have it, and it comes to me like very easily than I ever thought. But it changed from the moment that I decided to be something. I want to be nice, I want to be kind, I want to make all my decisions out of love. And believe me, there are moments in my life, you know that I'm in a process of healing, and I become this person because I wanted to heal myself, not because I wanted to fix anyone. I wanted to heal myself. And there are times that I think, okay, I'm good, right? But I know deep down it will take a long time till I get there because of the abuse that I put myself through. And there are things, the more I dig deeper, the more I look inside myself and find those cracks in my foundation, in my childhood, the more stuff comes up. But from the moment that I decided that I want to make all my choices, everything, every decision that I make is out of love. But there are days, there are moments in my life that my whole being becomes, I don't want to say full of hate, but it's just this rage that comes up. It doesn't happen all the time, but before it would happen maybe once every week. Now it happens once every month maybe. But I see something and my whole being becomes full of rage. And then I remind myself that if I focus on that rage, it will come back to me. Because for me, every decision I make is out of love for myself. That's that's what I teach. I make a living out of loving myself, and I teach people how to do that. And again, some of us believe in law of attraction, some of us believe in karma, some of us believe to just be good. But I truly, because I've lived it and I've experienced it, whatever the most important decision in my life is to do everything out of love. Out of love. Good. That's all. Yeah. What about you?
Well, for me, I look at it based on everybody. We all come with the blueprint, how life is supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right? So a blueprint is a story that we tell ourselves.
I love that.
However, life never matches that blueprint, right? So let's just say, for instance, my blueprint is, at this age, I'm supposed to have this, I'm supposed to have that, I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be that,
The story you tell is supposed to be, yeah.
And if that doesn't match, if life happens, it doesn't match that, what do you do? So for me, the minute I learn about that, the stories that I tell myself, it may not match the life, my life, because life happens, right? Exactly. Things can go, the opposite way or whatever could happen. So what I realized, about life, things can happen. So I decided, for me, my decision, the way I look at decisions, I look at decision based, no matter what happens, I decide to be in a beautiful state of mindset. So it don't matter if my car gets stolen, no matter whatever happens. If I'm going, because I'm telling you, I've lived it. There's times I'm going to different places. I'm like, oh man, things happen. So, but I choose to be in the beautiful mindset.
That's beautiful.
State of mind.
That's
beautiful. So this is the most important decision for me in my life. I don't know anybody else who has one, but for me, that's the most important, the decision that I can make. Because I know it's not a lot of times that the blueprint, the story that we tell ourselves, that life is going to match that. Because sometimes, man, you plan things out, just like your little girl. You're like, okay, I want to get married at this age. I want to do this, I want to do that. And then as you're getting older, like, oh shit, none of this shit happens. So like, what?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So what do? You have to make a decision, say, you know what, listen, no matter what happens, you know, it is what it is. I got to be in a much beautiful state. So that's just we got a question here. So I don't know if you
Yeah,
want to say
no, I think it's not a question. Is mine is to make and that it's
health.
health, fruitful, and happy, healthy.
That's a beautiful
Good.
one. Yeah.
That's a very
Yeah.
beautiful one. And I think,
Yeah.
again, I think we one thing that generally people do when they want to make a decision, they go ask this, they go ask that. We never ask ourselves what we like, what we want, what we love.
Right.
We always want to know, and it all comes because I think we don't trust ourselves, and we always want to have confirmation from others.
Right.
And I believe one of the most important thing is that you trust yourself, because the moment you trust yourself, it's okay. You can go ask other people. But like, I believe in the process of, decision making, having too many sources and overestimating the outcome, and because I personally, I was kind of person that I would say I have plan B, C, D, E, if I had everything, and I hated the unknown, and I always had to have control over everything. And unknown to me was horrible. And I noticed now I see it wasn't just me. I see people, I work with my clients, the other people. Unknown for us usually is a dark place, but it doesn't have to. Unknown can be full of light. Unknown can be surprises, right? So if we train ourselves, if we condition our mind to know that we can trust ourselves, and the more we trust ourselves, we're going to see the effect, right? It happened to me. I wasn't this person a year ago, but I choose to trust myself every time. Every time I was facing something, I was telling the story that would make me happy. I would tell the story that you can do this. You can do this. The day that I told myself, I looked in the mirror, I said, you can do it. I didn't believe it.
Right.
But now it's just like when I see, like when I hear, like I don't say that fear never comes up, but when it comes up, I laugh at it. It's just like what was I thinking? Like, why was I afraid? Because I've learned to trust myself. This is a relationship that you have with your subconscious. That's what we talked last week, right? Or I say your inner being, or we all know some people call it God, some people call it source, subconscious, inner child. But the more we trust ourselves, the easier the decision making. And again, all the decisions in my eyes are the same. As long as you look at it and you think, okay, I'm going to learn. What am I learning from this? And will I regret it in 10 years or not? This is is like really important.
Well, that's why I said decisions it plays a major role in our life.
Yeah.
It's like it's one driven mechanism, that's in ourselves that we have to, whether you carefully make decisions or not, it'll catch up to you.
Yeah. And listening to yourself, I think it comes with you always, it's this longing, and then there's discontent, or like the pain and pleasure that Tony Robbins talked about. I say you have this longing, you want, everything is good, but you want more, right? And then you have something in your life that you're not, you're not happy about, but you have to decide how long are you willing to pay for that, and then how bad do you want your passion, your longing, right? And then there are processes like most people, we think, we look at our circumstances and we decide and we, make our decision. But what I do, I teach people to look beyond and you the same. We teach people to look beyond their current circumstances, and it's kind of brave thinking process. I call it, like, what I do is a brave thinking process that is 5-7 steps actually to brave thinking. And that's how you actually build your dream, how you make decision to build your dream or go get your goals.
Yeah, and then also too, I think the one last thing, like she said, healthy. People make decisions based on their values, what's important to them about
Yeah.
that, like for her, I don't know how to say her name, but she said healthy
Mara
is
Queen.
right, Mark, right there you go. So being healthy is important to her, and
It should be.
that's
I think
one
it's one
part.
of the
Yeah.
most important thing that we ignore, most of us,
Well, that depends on the person. Remember, everybody have values. Everybody have what's important to them. You
Exactly.
know, yeah. So if it's some people may say, what's important to me is making money. So their decisions only is to make money.
I know.
They could have a bad relationship, big stomach, whatever, but that's
I've
all
been
that
there.
important. You know what I mean? Or that's what I'm saying. It's important. Or some people say, for me, it's living in a beautiful state of mind. That's what's important to me because I think for me this is so important because it could take me to places where I don't want to go. So
Exactly.
being in a beautiful state of mind is important to me. And if money is important to you, you can. But you'll find that in that blueprint, there are things that are going to be missing
Exactly.
that's gonna causes you to be in a depressed state or sad or whatever negative emotion that you're gonna be experiencing.
Exactly.
So it's all that is important, man. It's gotta be you gotta know what's important to you the most.
Priorities. Like, again, if I'm gonna gather everything together, I think step one is to identify your goal, know that there
Right,
is a decision to make, right? And then
right,
step two is to prioritize your goal. Like, what is the
yeah,
most important thing? Again, sometimes I want money, right? Or a person wants money, and you get this job, but if you work 16 hours a day, you're going to lose time being with your family. So which
right,
one is important? And at the same time, I believe you can have it all. If you
yeah,
if you learn to prioritize and gather information and learn
right,
to, again, prioritize and know which one is most important to you, you can have it all. And then
exactly,
consider consequences. Again, consider, am I going to lose valuable time with my kids? Am I going to lose my health, but I'm going to make money? And at the end, always go for the end goal. I always preach, teach, and I do the same. Always go for the feeling.
right, right,
And that's the end goal. Why do you want this thing? What is the reason you're making this decision? And if you ask, and you are the only one who can answer it, not your mom, not your best friend, not your friends, not your realtor, you are the one knowing. So ask yourself and learn to listen to yourself. And after
right,
you're
right.
doing, I think, evaluate your decisions. And when you decide, if you do all these steps correctly, you will make decision really fast and you will not change your mind. So, oh, thank you, Manaju. I'm proud of you too. This is my best friend, so I have to cut you all
All
and
right,
so yeah, you have to, and then you just learn to make decision really fast. This is a process, and again, repetition, repetition, repetition. From the coffee you want to drink to the shirt you want to wear to the house you want to buy is the same
yeah,
process. You
all
just
right,
have to get
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then don't forget to add momentum to it.
Yes.
You got to be impassionate.
Passion.
When I believe that's very important, making decisions. When it comes to, like you said, buying a home. Like you will. I'm sure anybody that she sees that are looking for a home, the first thing she see in them, are they really ready, passionate about that, ready to buy a home? Because you
Exactly.
could just say it, but you're not ready. You know what I mean? So, and I'm sure that, she'll notice that, you know, absolutely.
Yeah, call her, guys. Like, again,
Exactly.
she's my best friend. I'm not gonna advertise, but she is the best realtor I've ever worked with. Like, she's really good at
Nice.
what she does. So yeah,
When I'm
call
ready to
her.
move to, when I'm ready to move to LA, I call her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's cool. Decision making is very important. So I hope everybody gets the idea on how important that is, when it comes to making decisions in
Exactly.
your life,
And
and
think,
find out what's important to you.
yeah, fine. And thinking, I think the thinking process is everything. Get get used to thinking, because again, most of us, we think, but we don't. Like mental activity is not thinking. Looking objectively, getting out of your body kind of thing, getting out of your present state and look objectively to the problem you're facing or decision you're making, right? And this is like, and again, we were talking about the house, it's a good thing, but sometimes we're dealing with difficult decision, you know, you're dealing like, for example, sometimes it's your well-being. You have to cut a family member. You have to cut your friends. Why are you doing this, right? So again, that's what I said. I personally, whatever I do is out of love for myself. I might be selfish, but I think we all should be selfish, because the moment we take focus of everyone else and put that focus on ourselves, everything will be better. So, and the process is still the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. Still the same, you know. So, I hope anybody got questions, you know, on decision makings.
Now they're all good.
We got a lot of people on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna, guys. I have Mondays. I don't know if you know, Mondays live on Facebook at 5 p.m. This Monday is actually it's gonna be 10 a.m. and I'm bringing my story coach, which is pretty cool. She's Britain. She's a cancer survivor, so it's gonna be a great discussion. And also, I'm putting all these videos on my YouTube. Coach Dickens put it in his YouTube, and I'm going to share the link. So it would be great if you subscribe, like, because it will help us a lot with YouTube. Absolutely. Yeah, it will help us a lot. Thank you, Marjorie. It will help us a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And next week, what are we going to talk about? You told me.
I haven't think about it yet, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. So next week, thank you for joining. Thank you so much. It means so much.
Or anybody here that can, if you want us to discuss a topic as well.
Exactly.
You're welcome to, you know, message me or message her. You
exactly. Know, any topic you want, and it means a lot. It means a lot to both of us. We love this. We do this for fun. So, and it's just going to be like 40-minute fun every week. And as we go along, we're going to add to it. So thank you for joining. And thank you so much, Dickens. Again, I know you've been through, but again, you're a coach.
Yeah.
You have to coach yourself first, right?
Absolutely. Every day. Yeah.
Every day.
I have to be in a coaching state.
Exactly.